The sandalwood clung to the air, a mocking sweetness that tightened Jedediah's chest. He's been breathing it in for days, ever since Silas Blackwood's body was found sprawled amongst the prize-winning roses in Thorne's garden. Now, it permeated the porch where Elias sat, her arm in a makeshift sling, watching him with wide, anxious eyes. "He's gone, Jed," she murmured, her voice thin. "Truly gone. He won't be forgotten," Jed said, more to reassure himself than her. The men in the hat had vanished into the woods after their brief, violent dance in the clearing, a ghost fueled by vengeance and family secrets. But the scent of sandalwood remained, a persistent reminder of Thorne's deception. Jed had cornered Elias Thorne in his study, a room lined with leather-bound books and filled with the scent of expensive cigars masking the sandalwood had clung to the carpets and furniture. The interrogation hadn't been pretty. Thorne initially maintained his innocence, his face a mask of grief and indignation. But Jed, fueled by his bad feeling and the damning evidence of the photographed Silas and Elias, younger men laughing beside a prospector's claim pushed. He knew Silas well. Jed had pressed. The photograph lay between them on the mahogany desk. The letters say otherwise. Thorne's carefully constructed facade cracked. The indignation bled away, revealing a core of chilling calculation. "We were partners," he's admitted, the words measured and cold. "A business venture gone sour. Sour enough to end with a bullet." Thorne didn't answer directly. Silas was a greedy man. He dug up things best left buried. "Like what?" "It doesn't matter. He threatened to expose us." "Expose what?" Jed's voice was a low growl, the disbelief threatening to overwhelm him. Thorne sighed, a weary sound. "A claim. A small, rich vein of silver. We found it together, years ago. Silas wanted to sell his share. I couldn't let him." "So you killed him?" Thorne's lips twisted into a bitter smile. "I didn't pull the trigger, Marshal, but I arranged things ensured he wouldn't trouble me anymore." He gestured towards the woods. "The man in hat, he handles my delicate matters." "Your nephew," Jed realized, the pieces falling into place. A skilled shooter, loyal to a fault, eager to please his uncle and easily manipulated by the promise of reward. He felt Silas was a threat. Thorne continued, his eyes devoid of remorse. "A loose end." Jed felt a wave of anger, but he tamped it down. He had Thorne where he wanted him. "And now you expect me to believe the man in hat acted alone?" "He's a professional. He carries out orders." Jed glanced at Ilara, her face pale, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and disgust. The truth was undeniable. Thorne was a predator, a man who used wealth and power to manipulate and control those around him. He had not fired the bullet, but he was as guilty as the shooter. "You're under arrest, Elias Thorne," Jed said, his voice hard. He signaled to the two deputies he's posted outside. They entered the study and quickly secured Thorne, his protests falling on deaf ears. As they led Thorne away, Jed felt a sense of grim satisfaction. He's brought a predator to justice, but he knew the fight was far from over. The man in hat was still out there, a shadow lurking in the wilderness. Jed turned to Ilara, his expression softening. "You're safe now." Ilara shook her head, her eyes still fixed on the departing deputies. "Is he really?" Jed didn't answer. He knew that Thorne's network extended far beyond the confines of his estate. There were others who benefited from his power and influence, and they wouldn't let him fall easily. He stepped onto the porch, inhaling the scent of honeysuckle that mingled with the lingering aroma of sandalwood. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the garden. He knew that the darkness held secrets, and he was determined to uncover them. A soft rustling in the woods caught his attention. He turned, his hand instinctively reaching for his holster, but it was just a deer disappearing silently into the trees. He exhaled slowly, the tension easing from his shoulders, but he knew that the wilderness held more than just deer. It held secrets, dangers, and a lingering threat of the man in the hat. He looked at Ilara. "I need to ride out," he said. "I'll find him." Ilara nodded, her eyes filled with worry. "Be careful, Jed." Jed mounted his horse and sprinted towards the woods. The scent of sandalwood faded as he rode deeper into the wilderness, the echoes of Thorne's confession ringing in his ears. He was a lawman, sworn to protect the innocent, and he wouldn't rest until justice was served. He paused at the edge of the woods, looking back at Thorne's estate, a grand mansion bathed in the fading light. He knew that the fight was far from over, and that the shadows held secrets that would test his resolve. But he rode on, a lone figure disappearing into the darkness, the promise of vengeance a burning ember in his heart. The final image etched into his mind as he rode deeper into the night was a photograph of shared past, a betrayal, and a silent vow for retribution.